iStuff Mobile is a rapid prototyping toolkit that enables designers to explore interactions with sensor-enhanced mobile phones. In this video, we will showcase 4 different prototyping examples to illustrate how iStuff Mobile can be used. Let's say, for example, that a designer wants to create a new UI that lets users scroll through a list on a mobile phone by squeezing and tilting it. To create a low-fidelity prototype of this new interface, the designer simply tapes the required sensor to the back of a standard mobile phone. Now let's see how the data gets from the sensor to the mobile phone. The SmartITS boards used here contain sensors for pressure and tilt, among others, and transmits its data wirelessly. The wireless sensors can be configured remotely to activate certain sensors and specify sampling rates. Next, we'll set up the mobile phone. The mobile phone is controlled through a special iStuff mobile application that communicates over Bluetooth to send and receive commands. It runs in the background and allows prototypes to be built with any foreground application. Now that the mobile phone and wireless sensors are configured, the designer is ready to add the logic to his prototype. This is done through Apple's Quartz Composer visual programming interface. We have extended this interface with special plugins to support prototyping in a ubiquitous computing environment. Quartz Composer has a rich built-in library to provide 3D effects and data manipulation. It uses a cable patching metaphor to connect inputs to outputs. The editor is live and changes in the composition are immediately visible. Our patch panel plugins manage communication between Quartz Composer and the event heap. The event heap infrastructure greatly simplifies distributed application coordination. Here, the designer is using Quartz Composer to view the accelerometer output. A short while later, the composition is complete. With the finished prototype, the user can interact with the built-in contacts application using the tilt scroll interaction. Squeezing the side of the phone activates scrolling. The more the user tilts, the faster the scrolling. Instead of output, how about if the designer wants to use the mobile phone as an input device? This is enabled using the iStuff Mobile background application. The background application supports intercepting user interaction from the foreground application. This can be activated and deactivated remotely through Bluetooth commands. This functionality allows users to create a foreground application using rapid prototyping tools of choice, such as Python or Flashlight. To see how this can be used, consider another example where the developer wants to prototype a tilt text mechanism where the tilt disambiguates which letter is being typed on the keypad. Here the key press is intercepted by the background application, then sent to Quartz Composer to interpret based on the sensor data, and then sent back through the background application to the foreground application. The designer can also prototype foreground applications, such as this static image, used to prototype a controller for a multi-screen presentation. The phone key presses are mapped inside of Quartz Composer to control presentations on remote screens. In another example, the user can navigate through a user interface using the sweep technique to detect motion in the phone's camera view. Quartz Composer's strength of generating compelling interactive visualizations can be seen with this weather browser for public displays. The forecast is updated live through RSS feeds from Yahoo Weather. iStuff Mobile has a low threshold for initial prototype construction and supports a high ceiling for prototype functionality. By making this tool available through open source, we hope to advance the pace of innovation and improve the quality of interface designs in ubiquitous computing.